Tell us about Ocean of Teeth.
So that's the first single. Came out about a month or two ago from the third installment, of course, of Upon Whom the Last Light Descends by Beware of Gods. Where does that song kind of fit, right, in the narrative and the story? Because this is a story. I mean, this at one point will be a book. I mean, ideally it'd be a graphic novel. That'd be pretty cool. Where does it sit in the narrative? Well, think of a glimpse of a white light, and it's white light kind of jumping very quickly off of one of the teeth of the white whale, as referenced in the song Submerged by the Ghost of a White Whale from Part 2, Amnesia Island. Little refresher on Submerged by the Ghost of a White Whale. In psychology, the white whale represents a long-standing, unresolved resentment. We think of Captain Ahab chasing the white whale. So he's essentially, he being the protagonist, I, Nomad, N-O-M, French for name, A-D after death. The I, Nomad, who will be named after death, is finding himself in the belly of the ghost of an unresolved resentment, right? So he's tasked with a mission by the unknown knower, confront the doomsday zealot, the schizo messiah, who's basically bouncing around, verbal vomiting, lysergic liturgies all over the place. I mean, everyone's kind of gone mad. They've been taken over by a signal that's emanating from a place underneath Amnesia Island called Soma City. The Oracle is the one emanating the signal. It's more pink noise than white noise. Why? Because it looks cooler. I don't have any remarkable reasoning for that, although we probably could read something into it, and folks that are listening to the songs and reading the lyrics are more than welcome to come up with their own ideas of why it would be pink noise as opposed to white noise. But it has taken over the people of Amnesia Island, and they have fallen asleep essentially, hence the tagline from the first sort of the intro to Amnesia Island, Concussion Dream, where the unknown knower says,
"The crime was not the dream. The crime was forgetting to wake up."
The I Nomad is tasked with facing this on Amnesia Island, and at some point he gets distracted by his own idea, which is to visit the Die sect, and Die standing for disciples in exile.
They sound kind of scary.
Right? And so he meets the Leper King, who's the leader of the Die sect, and Leper King's gonna try to pull this thing out of him, this shape-shifting, looming dread that he now, at least he's made some progress. He's realizing it exists outside of himself, but it's being projected from inward. Hasn't quite figured out yet, though, that if you kill it, you're gonna die too. So Leper King's like, I can't pull this out of you, you know. If I kill the thing within you, you will die as well. There's only one who can free you, really, which is the unknown knower. And again, it always circles back around to the unknown knower. And the I Nomad, you know, sometimes will do what he's tasked to do, and other times, much like a toddler, I want what I want, and I want my cookies, and I want my cake, and eat it too. And why do you keep quid pro quoing my ass and having me do these things? So, you know, in the finale of part 2, I mean, he comes up upon the Temple of Thieves. We get into part 3, and he's got to go back, in a sense, from whence he came, into the belly of the whale, of the ghost whale, hence Ocean of Teeth. And he knows this. He's been haunted by the glimpse of a white light. He's caught flashes. The whale hasn't left really yet. He sees it offshore, off the shore of Amnesia Island, and he's tasked with the mission of going to Soma City and essentially beheading the Oracle. Not just killing the Oracle, but beheading the Oracle and then bringing the head back to the unknown knower not all that different from the narrative in The Wizard of Oz. Kill the witch and bring me her broom, says the wizard, right? So there's a place in Lake Superior that they call the Devil's Kettle, and apparently this is a place where the water goes into a very large hole. It literally just goes into the earth. So there's a Devil's Kettle type situation going on in the waters off of Amnesia Island, and this sort of acts, it doesn't sort of, it is. It's how you get to Soma City is through this Devil's Kettle type place. The water goes right into the earth, and it's like a portal, but it's taking you from above, which is Amnesia Island, through into below to Soma City. So the I Know Man has to go through that portal to ultimately meet and behead the Oracle. And there are some other things that happen in between that we can talk more about as we go along. I think what's going to happen is I
imagine it's been a challenge for you deciding where to end the story, right?
Well, that's right. I mean, the challenge of doing a part 4, I don't know. I mean, it ends pretty powerfully. You know, with Starve My Eyes That I May See, which is tip of the hat a little bit to a song called Starve by Henry Rollins. And in Eastern Orthodox, and I'm not Eastern Orthodox, but I find their imagery very sort of compelling. And in particular, a group of monks that used to be punk rockers that are part of a thing called Death to the World. They're Eastern Orthodox monks. There was an article in the magazine Death to the World that talked about visual fasting, which I found really compelling. So, I mean, the way they do it is they go into like a real small, confined, dark place. I don't remember the name of it. What's a sensory deprivation tanks. Think of it kind of like that, facilitating a vision through sensory deprivation. Well, you know, starve my eyes that I may see. It just kind of ends really where it needs to end, but I do think that we're going to do more of these kind of things, and probably like inevitably something of a sort of audio book where you'll have in the background the music from the 3 parts, with me narrating and talking more about the individual characters. You know, there's characters from part 1 that I didn't really expand on. There's the Black Tongue Lotus Eater / the Blood Mother / the Snake Mother from Invitation. First track on part 1, I Am Named After Death. There's the Slim Reaper, there's the Cave Creeper. I mean, all of those show up just in that one track, and I never really expanded on them as characters. So, but they do carry an important part in the narrative, and much like Quentin Tarantino's stuff, there's backstory that doesn't necessarily show up, but I think we can talk about more as we go along, and characters can be turned into t-shirts and other merch, fun stuff like that. I don't have much else to say about Ocean of Teeth
At this time.